and it exploded into something bigger than what it was originally supposed to be. Sad love turned out to be more than a theory of romance. It's become a recipe for living in the world as it is now. To be sad, even heartbroken, does not mean one cannot love one's partner, one's country, or even humanity. But to appreciate what love is under circumstances such as these, I needed a very different understanding of love from the ones I had been taught. One that diverges radically from the stories and the stereotypes. Love that comes with no promise, and perhaps even no hope of a happy ever after, but is not lessened or degraded by that. Love whose aim and whose nature is something other than happiness. That changes everything. But before I get to that, let me take a step back. What did I have to be so sad about in 2017? That was when my first book on the philosophy of love came out. I did a lot of interviews. I mean, a lot of interviews. People like to talk about love, I guess. Certainly, there aren't enough opportunities to talk about love. At least, not in public. I don't mean opportunities to exchange cliches. There are plenty of those. I mean, really talk about love. In my book, I was trying to open some space for all the weird questions that everyone has, the ones that we aren't supposed to ask in polite company. So maybe that's part of why I was suddenly in demand. It's not the whole story, though. What the interviewers really wanted to talk about was not my theories so much as my personal life. In the book, I mentioned having a husband and a boyfriend at the same time, with everyone's knowledge and consent. I described some of the challenges of this, the stigma, the awkwardness, the social pressure, canvassing research as well as my own experiences. I talked a little bit about what life can be like as an openly non-monogamous woman with 2 partners. The short version: relentless slut-shaming. Still, there are lots of books about the experience of being non-monogamous. What made mine worth an interview? Here's one guess. It had something to do with who I am. There's the fact that I'm a woman, of course, which might make me a more interesting spokesperson for non-monogamy than a man would be. We are, after all, strongly conditioned to think of monogamy as something women want and men get pressured into. But there are also quite a lot of books about non-monogamy written by women, because there are quite a lot of non-monogamous women. There's the fact that I am a professor at a university, and maybe people took that to mean that I had thought about these things, or that I'd done my homework. That might have been part of it. But more than that, I think it was just that I'm a professional, middle-class, middle-aged white woman. I look normal and, well, respectable. I don't look like a rebel, a rule breaker, a defier of social norms. I look average, kind of boring. Paradoxically, I think that's why I was interesting. Polyamory is a form of consensual non-monogamy. Non-monogamy because it involves being open to more than one loving partner or relationship, and consensual because it's intentionally chosen by all parties involved, as opposed to cheating, which is non-consensual non-monogamy. I remember a profile piece in the Chronicle of Higher Education. It was written by Maura Weigel, a journalist and author I admire. She came to meet me in Vancouver while researching